And I am streaming. So I did play around quite a bit with using vectors for inking, and in fact these two earlier shots were inked with vectors, but I must say when it comes time to do coloring, I'm still running into a lot of, well, I shouldn't say a lot, I'm running into enough glitchy stuff to make me question whether I really want to use vectors actually. So let me mute that. Okay, so what I'm doing is I'm actually gonna just take a little different approach. As anybody who's followed this channel for any period of time would know, I'm kind of enamored of the My Paint brushes. Taking the rough drawings, and I'm just going through and cleaning them up. So I'm toggling between my eraser and my brush pretty frequently. So there I just switched. So I can just get these lines in and, you know, just kind of erase. Ugh, I can't talk. Erase things and like I said, tighten them up. And then probably what I'm going to do is just go ahead and do a cleanup operation on this drawing. What I expect I'll do is draw one character and then use the S key to select the other character and just go ahead and cut them into another layer. At that point I'll probably use a Toons raster level just so we're going straight to something that can be used with the fill tools. Obviously you can't with the regular raster level, which is what I'm working on right now. But that's okay. I don't mind the cleanup stuff with our drawings, so I don't mind. I'm just kind of doing it the slow way, which, as someone near and dear to me was saying just a little while ago, the slow way is often actually the fast way. And the thing is, the thing I don't want to be doing is fighting my tools. It's better to sort of get used to the way the tools work and then use them, you know, play to their strengths than to constantly be frustrated, which I definitely do a lot, you know. So, but anyway, this is going to be, as long as I just redo these lines, which I would have to do anyway if I was going to ink it any other way, I'm still going to have to redraw everything. So basically, who cares? The only maybe arguable downside would be the erasing step, but you know, whoop-de-doo. It's all good. Where's that from? It's all good. It's good. It's from a movie. Can't remember. Maybe a Jim Carrey thing or something? I don't know. Okay. So I'm just going to erase around him right there. We'll worry about the table leg later, but well, plus when I'm using the My Paint brushes, smoothing becomes kind of unimportant because honestly the handling of the brushes is smooth and intuitive enough, i.e. I can draw well enough, that being able to use, you know, smoothing to get good clean lines isn't really that necessary. So now if you're looking at this, you may disagree. But anyway, so not a whole lot to say about this process. It's just the business of getting this stuff inked. And he's got this wrap. And okay. Now this, what do we want to do? Let's make this a little lower. There we go. And we'll make this one a little higher. Hitting the E key so I can erase again. Alright, erase, erase, erase. Okay, that's not too bad. Okay, not too shabby. Alright, so obviously this looks kind of stupid. And I think that was a notch too low. I'm just gonna tighten that up. Okay, so now we gotta deal with his hands. So I think the way I'm gonna do that is just erase into it to sort of suggest where the line should be, and just kind of sketch them in there like so, just so I can have them as a guide. That way I can zoom in like this and then really clean it up. Like so. Okay, so I don't like those. I think that'll work. Okay, well, what about the vase? Well, I'm just going to keep doing what I'm doing and kind of assume it's probably going to work. However, I do need to zoom out a little more so I can see what I'm doing. I basically have to get these lines drawn in there pretty quick, because once I erase them, I have to remember what I was drawing. Okay, so he's got a little bit of a thing there where there's like a wrap under his, well, around his neck. Okay, so we'll take that. So yeah, I don't normally do inking and raster levels and then do a cleanup, but today, just for kicks and giggles, that's how I'm going to do it. And then I may... It's been an ongoing debate trying to use vectors for inking, and then I get into it and bump into issues, and it's like, this isn't worth it, you know, and back and forth. So believe me, I'm well aware that I'm rather schizophrenic when it comes to my approach to inking, but basically inking and filling has been by far the most difficult aspect of animation, to find a workflow that is, you know, both effective and enjoyable, you know, which is always kind of the goal. Alright, so with that, that's not too bad. I think maybe what I should do is cut this guy into his own level first. Alright, so shift space bar, get my fingers back on the B and the E key. Okay, that's not too bad. Hey Oxer, how you doing, man? Doing well. Just cranking forward on this thing. Okay, that feels pretty good. We're gonna have him a little turn there, change of expression. Excuse me, didn't mean to sneeze on you there, Oxer, or Oxer. Yeah, I saw you had a comment, Oxer, on I don't know, one of the other videos. You had some comment about your 3D work, I noticed. I don't know. I probably gave it a thumbs up. I tend to put some. I either put the love or the thumbs up on most comments, just because I do want people to know that I do read them. So, okay, so he looks pretty good. The safe thing to do here certainly would be to I'm gonna go ahead and draw. Okay, the safe thing would be to put this in a raster level and then clean it up immediately, just to kind of see what we get. So let's do that. Ah, shoot. My finger accidentally pressed the button. Sorry. So we'll just cut this guy out. So nice that we can. Okay. And I'm going to literally cut him out. I'm not even going to leave him in there. And paste. Okay. Well, you can see what happened. Why did that happen? Oh, I know why that happened. Well, I could guess why it happened. It's probably because this column is parented to the... Okay. I need my schematic. Yeah, the cam move. Okay, and I need to have column 4 also parented to this. Now, I don't know if that'll solve it, but let's see if it does. Control V. Ah, it looks like it did. Okay. So that's, yeah, that looks pretty much correct. Except I lost his feet. Well, okay. All right, so I'm pausing now to read Oxer's comment. Yeah, I knew Clip Studio had the vector levels going on. Yeah, correct. My complaint with both Clip Studio and Krita is the same. And the complaint is what I just did with the schematic view. Right. Yeah. Well, I would expect so. Object files, you know, you're talking about like 3D stuff. I think Clip Studio plays pretty nicely with oh brother, what's it called? I forget what it's called, but there's a venerable old 3D Poser. The guys that own Clip Studio also own Anime Studio, and they also own Poser, and they tried to make them work well together. So yeah, my basic problem with Clip Studio is, at least the last time I checked, is you don't really have a good way to parent layers to each other and use, yeah, exactly, and use them, you know, sort of as a unit, the way you can in the way OpenTunes does it is absolutely excellent. Okay, so the problem I have right now is I need to go into my level and change my canvas size, and just to be safe, I'm just going to be obnoxious about it and change it to, whoops, 2500 square. Resize. Okay, so now I've got to tighten up the lines, but then you have the additional step of doing some erasing and manual cleanup. But for me, the prevailing point is it fun? And working this way is fun. So what the heck? If it takes a little more time, I don't care. All right, so there's that. This needs to kind of go like that and that. Let's zoom out. Okay. He looks like he's anchored pretty well. Looks like we probably have some issues up here. In terms of the line thickness, that's not quite satisfactory. And neither is that. This is where those vectors are kind of nice. And smoothing tools. Okay. No, I've been thinking about diving back and using Krita maybe for some things too. It's just, man, when I was using it, it was just so... There were enough bugs to kind of make it a non-starter for me. But they're always trying to improve it, you know. It's always being improved. But when I step back and look at, I say to myself, okay, if I was going to use Krita, what would the workflow look like? And once I step through it and see, what I would have to do to get the job done, I realize, wait a minute, everything that I would want to do in Krita, I can already do in OpenTunes. Because Krita, using Krita for animation is kind of like using OpenTunes, where everything is a raster level. Whoops, didn't mean to do that. Everything's a raster level with no keyframe interpolation, no parenting, and in OpenTunes with the raster levels, there's no filling, so you'd have to convert it to a tunes raster to get the fills. But right. Well, exactly. If it keeps you drawing, that's generally a good thing, right? So, there we go. Okay. So now, I'm going to save my work, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the cleanup right here. Here we go. Here it goes. Ready? Cleanup. Okay, so that was one step, and it just converted this to a tunes raster level. Okay, so now I'm going to show if I had done the inking directly in a tunes raster level using the MyPaint brushes, which I would be inclined to do. Okay, in fact, if I want to touch anything up, I'm going to want the MyPaint brushes, so I'm going to go ahead and select the MyPaint brush for my inking that's tantamount to the same one I was already using, so you can see it's just basically the same brush. Okay, the problem that I found, you're going to see it right now. If I go ahead and fill this, let me pick a color that's, well, I mean, his costume's black, but I don't really want to use black, so I'll just use this color. Let's fill that. Okay. Yeah, I mean, that actually did a remarkably good job. But what I found is, yeah, I mean, basically, animating in Krita is like animating in OpenTunes if you only ever used tunes raster levels, for the most part. Other than the fact that the way you can change colors in Paint, like if you were doing backgrounds or something, that would be more like using a raster level. But basically, those are kind of parity, except they're still lagging pretty badly behind OpenTunes, because OpenTunes lets you do all the hierarchy stuff I talked about. Anyway, the point I was getting at here is, when I was using the MyPaint brushes with a tunes raster level, I got a little frustrated because I noticed a lot of stuff like this, where the fills weren't really that clean. But what I've kind of realized is, you know what, I don't care, because I can hit the P key, and with the paintbrush in areas mode only, it takes like 5 seconds to clean that stuff up. And believe me, if you were using vector levels, you'd have to do just as much cleanup, if not a lot more, actually. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and erase this and just refill it, and there you go. I mean, it cleaned up that quickly. So for me, I'm feeling reasonably enthused about working this way. And if you want, if you want to get into like some fancy schmancy deformation type stuff or whatever, well, that's what the plastic tool's for. So, all right, fill, fill, fill. And I mean, if you want reliable filling, by far, of course, okay, unfortunately I have to redraw those feet again, but that's okay. All right, so I'm going to go there. If you want reliable filling, you simply use tunes raster levels, end of story, because I love the way it'll do just the fill. It'll do just the fill and leave your lines alone. And if you wanted to, you could switch it to lines. And then if you say you wanted a different color outline here, you could do that. So that's pretty powerful. All right, so now having accomplished that, I'm going to go back here to my colors and start getting my colors back to what they're actually supposed to be. This red should be, actually that should be very dark, and my outlines should be, for the ninjas, are supposed to be like a charcoal type color. So, okay. I disagree with you, Oxer. The background painting is terrible performance-wise in Toons. I disagree. When I've done background painting in Toons with a raster level using the My Paint brushes, so I'm basically doing the same thing I would do in My Paint, it seems to perform the same for me, but your machine may be different, you know. And the other thing is, if you're dealing with background paintings, I have no problem using Krita for that. It's great. I mean, it's an incredibly good painting application. It's just a little bit sucky about on the animation side. So, but that's, you know, that's just one guy's opinion. So, all right. So I'm actually going to just wash this out and redo it. If I run into anything that's a little bit silly, I'm just not gonna fight it. Instead of fighting it, I'm just gonna do like that. I'm just gonna fix it, redo it, because redoing it is pretty quick. Now I probably should. Yeah, I'm gonna turn this off so that I can. Whoopsie poo. Sorry. All right, I want to go there. I'm just gonna hit the eraser. And I'm just going to use the eraser to go through and do some manual cleanup here. This is stuff, you know, you're moving fast. You don't necessarily see all the little hiccups in the drawings. But like I said, my point is that any other way you do it is going to have just as much cleanup and fiddling required. It'll be just a little bit of a different fiddle procedure. If someone adds that to Clip and or Krita and the camera move for a 3D camera, I'd be happy. Well, exactly. Well, what you can do with the, you know, with hierarchies here, and you can set up all kinds of puppet animation and stuff in OpenToons really easily. Which you can't do any of that in Clip Studio or Krita. However, for the most part, for just getting, you know, quick and dirty ideas down, they're both pretty good. I don't like the interface in Clip Studio. Never have. I've tried it like a dozen times, and every time I do it, I'm like, I hate this. But the impression I get from the community out there is that if you really took the time to learn it, you'd probably be going, yeah, I should have been doing this all along, kind of thing, you know, because it is very good. I just haven't gotten through the learning curve with it, and at this point, don't see much of a reason to. The only thing to recommend Clip Studio for me is just that out there on the internet here and there, I've heard little rumblings that there are in fact Japanese anime studios that are using Clip Studio as their main tool. So if that's true, you do have to kind of respect that, right? But on the other hand, they tend to be used to a fairly old school workflow as well, at least judging from videos I've seen on YouTube, some of which are a little bit old, granted. All right, fill. All right, paint touch up. Yep, a little bit there, a little bit there. Whoopsie poo, got outside the lines. Just like when you're a little kid, you're not allowed to go outside the lines. Okay, and the ninjas. Check out this guy when you get a chance, Ed Tadeo. He does pretty good work in Krita. Well, you know what, dude? I'll check him out right now. YouTube. Ed Tadeo? Yep, there he is. Hang on. Everybody hang in there. Okay. Oh, I've seen his work. I have seen his work. Yep, let's animate this. Let's animate that. Yeah, in fact, you know what? I will subscribe to him right now and check out his work in a little more detail here shortly. I.e. not probably today, but sometime soon. But yeah, because I do recall feeling when I looked at his work that he's doing about as good a job with Krita as anybody is. And boom. Okay. I'm not going to worry about the shoot. I wonder if I just paint over that. Can I do that? Yep, I guess I can. Okay. Boom. Boom. Zoom out. Let's see, actual size. Yeah, not too bad. Not too bad. Definitely got some cleaning up to do. And I will also say that this business of taking the actual pencil test and tightening it up into ink, that's not something I'm going to be doing very often. I did it this time. Tell you what, let's just do lines only. There we go. And you can kind of see a couple of the issues I've had to bump into. But once again here, I need to rescale my canvas. So let's go to the level, canvas size, and let's do the same thing we did to the raster level. 2500, not 250. Okay. And now, adding Blender Tunes or Moho to the workflow will improve animation all around. Yeah, I think going the old, semi-old school would be helpful for me once I get my animation to the point where I feel I need it. Yeah, I mean, I use all of the above. I mean, I've done quite a bit of work with Anime Studio. Well, okay, they're going back to calling it Moho. When the guy wrote the program, it was called Moho, and then they changed it, and now they've changed it back. Okay, so it looks to me like 0.5 might be well advised here, because it appears. Let's go to. Okay, I didn't mean to do that. Let me hit undo a couple times here. Okay. I'm going to say maybe -1. It looks to me like the brush sizes aren't quite clocking in identically between the Tunes raster level and the original raster level, but maybe they are, and I'm just, I don't know. It's close, but I'm thinking making my, when I did 0.5 a minute ago, what I meant to do was -0.5, so that you're subtracting 0.5 from 0, because 0 is the default size for the brush. So you can see I'm having to kind of really scrub that to get the color. All right, that works. That works. P key. Yeah, that kind of touch up right there. Oops, I'm sorry. Bad move. This is supposed to be that color, and this is supposed to be that color. Okay. So B key. So anyway, I am having to do a little more work than I would have had to do if I would have just gone ahead and done the inking as a Tunes raster level from the start. Boom. Okay, and just go back in and tighten that up. But yeah, Blender, OpenTunes, Moho. The version I have is Anime Studio. Did I say Animation Master earlier? I think I might have. I meant Anime Studio /Moho. Okay, that'll work. I'm not going to worry about the vase right now. Okay, and now what I can do is turn this back on and watch this. I'm going to hit the B key. Boom. And now what I'm going to do is grab this, Control C, go into this drawing, Control V, and then I'm going to erase some of it. Frankly, not too much, but what I do have to erase has to be erased fairly decisively. Actually, I'm going to do lines and areas for now. I really want to just kind of clean this out. And frankly, his head. Okay. Yeah, the rest of him can remain as is. No problema. Okay, so now what I want to do is make this a little ghostier. Okay. Save early. I have version 9. I wonder what I have. Boom. So let's see here. Open recent Luca. And so there you go. This is something I did probably 3 years ago when I was fiddling around with Anime Studio. So if anyone doubts that I've ever used Anime Studio, now there's no doubt at all. Not that it really matters much. Okay, so zoom in. Kind of doing the same as you, figuring out the best workflow. That's right, and it's different for everybody. So I tell you what, man, I'm gonna give this a try. I'm gonna get rid of the tunes or the my paintbrush here for a minute and see if I find I'm getting better results. Okay, I don't want pencil on. I do want to have some anti-aliasing, but I have a feeling this is actually going to be a little quicker and easier if I just dispense with the my paintbrush. I'm thinking that once it's at the actual size, it's not like you're not really going to see and appreciate that pencil-y look anyway. So alright, so now let's toggle back and forth and just kind of see what we've got here. One, two, three, da. Da-da. Okay. I'll erase that later, clean it up. Pull out a little bit. Boom, boom. Okay, well, not sure I'm sold on that line. Obviously, it might be better to cut and paste from the previous frame just so they are the same, but by gum, I don't want to. So looks similar to my version. Yeah, I think I have 8. Whatever I have is like version 8. Okay, so let's just do this. Control C. Let's go to the next picture. Hit Control V, and then just drag it like that. There you go. B key. What time is it? Holy cow, I've been going more than a half hour here. That's amazing. Well, time flies when you're having fun. That's what they say, isn't it? So let's continue to have fun. Okay. Alright. So that little peekaboo right there is the only thing that's going to be the blue part. The rest of it's going to be... Okay, I'm going to take a risk here. I'm going to hit save. Save early, save often, because I'm going to do something I know I'm going to regret, which is flip the canvas. OpenTunes always crashes when I flip the canvas. But maybe today is going to be the day that it doesn't. So, let's find out. Alright, flip it back. Flip it back before it blows up. Save. I'm like saving every 10 seconds here. Just because I don't trust OpenTunes not to crash on me. Yeah, gotta get to my stir fry and salad created before my spinach goes bad. Good for you. Like me, Oxer, you're eating spinach and stir fries. That's pretty much what I live on. Good man. You keep doing that. Take care of yourself. Alright. Okay, that looks pretty good. I think we can tighten that line up right there. And now let's just go through and start doing some filling and see what happens. Fill. Fill. Oh, that was not what we wanted. Come on, right there. Oh, it doesn't want to do that. Okay, that's all right. We'll let that go. Fill. Fill. Okay, this guy we're going to have to fix up. So, boom, 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 boom. All right, hitting the K key. So I just make sure I grab the same material, K key, fill tool, fill tool, fill tool. This little tiny area, as I said before, is going to be the blue. That's going to be filled there. Now I'm going to grab the paintbrush, and I'm just going to fix a few things here. A little bit of tightening up this and that. All right. Yep, right there. I mean, that's the way OpenToonz lets you paint just the areas is so super cool. Or just the lines, for that matter. Sorry, I just bumped my microphone. Okay, fill that in. Okay. So we got to fix this manually, it appears. That's okay. That's not too bad. And then we do need the lines. But to complete this I know I was using autosave there for a while, but what happened was it sort of locks up the whole program whenever it autosaves, and it seemed to me that because of that, if you accidentally clicked something and were trying to move forward while it was autosaving, you actually introduced the possibility of a crash that otherwise wouldn't have happened. So it was almost like causing more problems than it was solving. So, but your mileage may vary, right? Okay, black. Sorry, I want that. And then we really could use a bit of a color here for the eyes, right? So I'm going to hit the P key. I'm just going to color them in like this. And while I'm here, I'm going to fix that. Okay, and then I'm going to go here and just change the eye color, which is just basically off-white. Okay. So, there you go. And that stretches down to there. Okay, complete this. I will do it the old school way. I will only miss the camera zoom and pan. Right, exactly. Okay. That'll work. Okay, so now I'm going to move this over one notch, and I'm going to add another Toonz raster level. And because I want to be efficioso, I'm going to take all these pretty colors, Control C, and I'm going to paste them in here. Okay, now this one, as we know, needs to be kind of charcoal. And now we're back to work again. Okay, but, before we get to work, this guy really needs to be drawn. Am I right? I'm right. We gotta draw this guy. Okay, yeah. Tell you what we're gonna do. I'm going to okay. Well, I haven't done it quite this way before, so I'm going to do it this way just for fun. So I'm going to go ahead and use the Toonz raster, my paintbrushes. And let's just see how this goes. Okay, so now this, I want it to be 0. Back to 0. So now this part, but I may do something like a process video for clip if the animation turns out good. Yeah, you should. Even if it doesn't have much action, it's still at least for me, it's fun to see the process. I mean, that's why I started this YouTube channel. I mean, the channel already existed, but the reason I started doing this live streaming of animation is because I tried to find somebody who's doing this, and there wasn't anybody. So I'm like, okay, well, I guess I'll do it. I think it's fun to watch the work unfold, so to speak. But hey, that's just me. Okay, what I'm seeing is that if I'm going to use the MyPaint brushes, then I also can leave this black instead of charcoal. That's kind of what was causing the problem, I think, because I was finding I had to really press hard, and I don't want to press hard. Yeah, looks alright. Looks alright. This guy. Just kind of go like that. Boom, boom, boom. This is really small on screen, so I don't need to delineate all the fingers. And then this I kind of did wrong. I think it needs to be kind of like that, that, like that, and like that. Okay. That looks pretty good. Do. And then I believe what I had on this part was something like that. That. So this would all be the blue wrap right there. Okay, that looks pretty good. Who else is, I don't want the whole world to see where I'm at yet. Yeah, well, like I've said, man, my whole point doing this was I figured I'd fail publicly. I'll let other people decide whether I'm succeeding or failing. You know, I don't care. I'm pretty confident that it's going to be quite entertaining when it's all said and done. So, all right, let's zoom in on this guy, and now let's get this guy's face. Okay, now I'm not going to fight the fact that the brush is obviously very, very fat, and that's because the reason the brush is fat is because he's so small on the screen. So I gain nothing by making the brush smaller. In fact, having it look the way it does is a good thing because it sort of dictates for me the level of detail to put in the drawing. Okay, that works. I think that works anyway. He's kind of got a look on his face. Alright, and then this guy has a headband, if I recall properly, since obviously I'm kind of famous for forgetting what my own characters look like. Yeah, I've been pretty guilty of that. Pretty guilty. Okay, he's got the Naruto hair, so that seems a little fro-ish to me. I don't think his hair was that big. Let's do that again. That part's okay. This will give you an idea, though. I posted the link to what I'm working on. Where'd you post it, dude? Okay, I like that. I like it muy mucho. Okay, I think we're in good shape. Yep. let's paint this guy because I just kind of want to see how that's going to go. Okay, okay, okay. All right. Okay, and now that I've done that, now I can bring the ink lines up a little bit. Let's see how that looks. Okay, he's got black here. I left these really bright colors in here because I knew I was going to need orange for his hair. Now this is where obviously there's no getting around the fact that there's going to be touch-up involved. It's just the way it is. You never get good clean fills on you know, little tiny corners like that. No problem. Fill that. Okay. He's so small on the screen. I might as well just hand paint it. Ba-doop, ba-doop, doop, doop. There it is. There's his eye. Okay. A little bit of touch up. Whoops. Well, I guess I can do it that way. Okay. We're getting there. We're getting there. Fill. Fill, fill. Leather. Boom. 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 Okay. So yeah, it'd be really tempting to get all bent out of shape about the imprecision of this filling, but again, you got to remind yourself this is going to be really small on the screen. So what we're seeing is just the fact that by definition it doesn't actually matter much because you're not going to see those details. Okay. A little hand paint, a little cleanup, little Valerie walking by. Okay. Oh, forgot about this hand. There it is. There it is. Fixie, fixie, fixie poo. Guess we could get this little smidgen right there as well. Okay, and then we need to take the B key. Forgot about the... Okay, I don't want to use the B key for this. Never do filling with the brush tool. Don't do it. You will regret it. It gives weird artifacts that you do not want. Okay, and same thing here, sort of. And same thing here, sort of. Okay. Hey, Behemoth. Hi, turn on selective when you use the paintbrush tool and you'll paint behind the other color styles in places where the color's not filled. Okay, cool. So far it hasn't been enough of an issue to sweat it too much, but that's definitely a good thing to know. Okay, so there's that. Now we got to stretch this. Whoops, we got to stretch this down to here. And then we will hit the D key. Oh, that made a new drawing. Okay, so now, yeah, because basically the only thing that's going to change is he's going to turn his head. So I'm going to do this the cheater way. Yep, I'm going to really cheat. I'm cheating like crazy. I can't even believe how much cheating I'm doing. Okay. I moved out the other file and left only the MP4 files. Hey, Oxer, oh, it was a prior link. I just reposted it. Well, yeah, but where did you posted it where? You posted it and didn't post it. I don't know. Oh, as you can see, I moved out the other file. Animatic. It's in the chat. There you go. I posted it again. So for some reason, whatever you're posting, I'm not seeing. You might have to spell out the link, you know, like the words dot and slash and stuff like that, so that for whatever reason I don't seem to be able to see it. So, because yeah, I definitely would like to. That'd be cool. All right, yeah, there we go. Okay, let's go to the top. Just kind of recap. So this is the levels that were inked with vectors, and all in all, you know, they look okay. But the thing about the vectors is, it was when I started painting, started coloring it in, that I started running into problems. So anyway, those shots look pretty good. I'm gonna stick with. I'm not gonna redo them or anything. Okay, but now that we're in the wide shot, we got this, and cool. I think we're in good shape. Now we get to here. Since I cut him out of that shot, I think it stands to reason that this is supposed to be fake. I want the vase down, but I want the head up. So actually what I'm going to do is take the head from this drawing. Okay. And then I'm going to erase this. I'm going to paste the other head into this drawing. Hopefully this will be reasonably okay. Control V. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so now that solved that problem. Now I can take this drawing. Hello, OpenToonz, I'm talking to you. And I can drag it in here. Okay. So now that gives me up. They move down, but the hand stays down, but the head goes up. So that's perfect. This guy, on the other hand, I don't want him to move anymore. Remember, this is an anime. We don't want people jumping all over the place all the time. Okay. So, Oxer, I still don't see your link, man. What the heck? Share the love, brother. Share the love. I want to see it. All right, so now what are we going to do? Well, we're going to go in, and we're going to draw Akari. Oh, beautiful Akari. We love her so much, don't we? Yes, we do. She's absolutely wonderful. Okay, what I'm going to do, I think, I may regret this, but before I go too far, no, I don't like, okay, I'm going to try it. I'm going to cut this. Believe it or not, I can't believe I'm insane enough to be doing this. And now I'm going to paste this into this Toonz raster level. Okay. Then I'm going to take this and radically and shrinkulate it. That ain't gonna work. Well, folks, we can all see what happened, can't we? We can all see what happened. That's okay. I'm not complaining. I wonder if these vector brushes even work in the Toonz raster levels. Let's find out. Nope. So this belongs, I'm going to delete that style out. And okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab these colors, just cause, and paste these guys in. Now I got my pencil, and I can draw with a pencil, which is kind of what I wanted to do, right? Looks like there's no more chatting going on. So, oh, sweet Akari. Sweet, beautiful, sexy Akari. She looks so good. Yes, she does. She's so beautiful. There is some controversy regarding the actual size of her bosom. Her level of endowment, one might say. Well, it's a little suggestive. I mean, here she is in her nightie. You know, she's been pulled out of bed. Well, enough said, right? Okay. So, my sense is that she is of medium build. Okay, let me turn this off. That's going to look pretty good. Now let's turn it back on. And we got to draw her head. And then actually, I think as soon as I finish with her lovely anatomy, I'm going to call it a night. Which is cool. This takes me right up to the 1 hour point. So now, technically, I used the wrong brush right there. But, gosh, do you think anyone's going to notice? Think I can get away with that? I'm thinking I can get away with that. Okay. That doesn't look right. Holy cow. What was I thinking? What was I thinking? I don't know what I was thinking, but I know that it was not good. This was not good at all. You need to give a little more attention to quality control, son. Yeah, I know. Nobody said it. I said it for you. Well, it's because I'm getting a little feisty here and I'm kind of ready to be finished for this session. Okay, so now what I want to do, I just want to jump up here and just get a, I know that obviously we are changing the head orientation here a little bit. We're allowed to do that since it's our anime. We can do that if we want. And again, the boldness of the brush, or the fatness of the brush, is a good thing because it informs the level of detail in the drawing, right? This drawing needs to be very simple because she's really small in the shot. Okay, now I know what's going to happen here. We're going to get downstream a bit and I'm going to find out that I totally botched her nightgown. It could happen. But I'm taking my chances. That's what I'm going to do. Take my chances. Yes. She's got a little bit of a Japanese look in that particular drawing. File, save. Okay, now I'm allowed to change all my colors since, fortunately, okay, well, that's an understandable mistake. Actually, to be perfectly accurate, Akari should be behind him, like so that I can now go like this and close this shape. Alright, you're going, but Dave, it's not closed. Well, yes, I'm aware of that. That's because of that. Okay, so now we're all happy. And I can fill that. Fill that. Fill that and that and that and that. And now Akari, she's so pretty. She's so very pretty. Her hair is kind of a purple color. Fortunately, we can always tweak the color later, so we just need to get it blacked in. So that's working. That's working, man. It's working. Okay, and then this is going to be her pretty nighty. Hey, wait, what's going on, man? Why is it? Oh, I know why it's leaking. Because of this. Ta-da. Okay, well, there must be something else. Blah. It's that bosom we mentioned earlier. That bosom needs to be drawn in there so that we're able to fill it properly. So there's that. And now what we're going to do is we're going to go R key, click on her hair, and then use that as the basis. I can't remember if it was purple-ish or if it was blue-ish. So I'm just going to kind of make it somewhere in between, and then we'll make adjustments later, I'm quite sure. Okay, guys, that's it. If you're coming in late, sorry to disappoint you if you were enjoying this, but I got other stuff to do, so that's as far as we're going, and I am signing off in 3, 2, 1. See ya.